SXM Daily News interview with Jackie Violnas, organizer of the Mother's Day in Marigot. CFT, major risks at government entities and social funds. The people are standing up for justice. I commend Chantal Flanders standing up and speaking out. Marinka Gums, Minister of Finance. The government stands by all this legislation regarding all 5 laws. From the island, Sint Maarten, this is SXM Daily News for June 1st, 2026. SXM Daily News interview with Jackie Violnas, organizer of the Mother's Day in Marigot. How did you all come about this whole thing? It started with a Christmas table about 4 years ago. I think I don't see Christmas Day every December telling people that we get something special. We started with food, just obsessed with the radio station 101.5 FM St. Maarten. And then after Christmas is 4 years ago, I don't remember we said, well, we got to do something else because of the food I've donated by the restaurant and caterers. Do something else. And then we decided to go to the Easter table. First year, we have 300 fish or more fried on the spot. So it was like we had a bit of time for the whole day with the kids, and they don't give me food and dessert, and by the end of the day, the guys. And then the guys are the captain's supply, which is the boy, and we have Ron, he's one, and I'm the only lady.
It started with Christmas table about 4 years ago, I think. I don't remember how long, but we used to do Christmas table every December. We used to be on a radio station calling in and just telling people that we gathering something old-fashioned. So we started with food just upstairs in the radio station. And then after Christmas, about 3 years or 4 years ago, I don't remember, we said, well, we got to do something else because of the food are donated by the restaurants, the Lolos, and caterers. So we said we're going to do something else, and then we decided Good Friday, Easter, we're going to do an Easter table. So the first year, last year, we did an Easter table with just seafood alone. And on the spot, we had about 300 fish or more fried on the spot. So it was like, okay, we had a good bit of people for the whole day with gifts and things. Not gifts, we didn't have gifts then, but we had the food and dessert. And by the end of the day, the guys are Field Malay, Coochie, the captain, Air Supply, Field Malay, which is the buoy, and, I forget it now. And we have Roy, he's one, and Frederick Bailey, and I'm the only lady involved. I'm the queen of the table, I say. But I say after Easter, let's do Father's Day because mothers have 2 days. And we did it. We put it on the radio that the children call in and give their father's name. We asked for donation, and believe you me, I decided I'm going to donate tokens of appreciation, which is a bag. I did 100, and we got over 100 names, and we had gifts from hotel stay, restaurant stay. We have so much sponsors, I can't call them now, but in general, we have a lot of sponsors for Father's Day. And then we decided we're going to continue. Last year, the mothers got unlifted because we didn't do Mother's Day. So we decided we can't do Mother's Day and Father's Day together because it's too close. And the people who are donating the food, it's a large amount, and it's too close. And things ain't easy for everybody. But with a willing heart, you see for yourself the out. So we on the radio talking between 12 and 1 and putting out the information, and we get answers. We have food from Anguilla, things from Anguilla. We have sponsors from Anguilla. And I can't remember right now, but as you go along, we'll see what we are doing. I know we have a lot of bingo gifts and karaoke gifts, token of appreciation. We have the baskets. I have 100 bags to give out for mothers. And, well, this is it. It was a preparation, and from Easter to now, we are here. And I just want to say thanks to everybody for believing in us, especially the cooks who donate and bring the food. It is dessert, everything. It's a wonderful day. Thank you to everyone.
Before you go, how many years you all been doing this organization now?
It just something started on the radio with the DJs. We didn't bring the organization together. Just people just came in and wanted to be part of the table. Okay? So it's like, that's how it is. It's just the 5 of us. I'm one lady and 4 men.
What is going to be the next event?
We can't do Father's Day because it's too close. It's less than 3 weeks away, so we're going to do Christmas.
You're going to do Christmas?
Yes. Next year we're going to do Father's Day. So.
Marinka Gums, Minister of Finance, agrees with the question from the MPs. Does the government stand by all this legislation regarding all 5 laws in this government? Take ownership of these laws through you. Yes, government does. From a constitutional perspective, the general principle is that legislative proposals submitted by a previous government are, in principle, continued by its successor. This principle safeguards continuity in the legislative process, promotes stability in governance. Accordingly, successive governments assume carriage of pending draft legislation, irrespective of the administration under which those proposals were originally submitted at the same time.
The MP agrees with the question from MP York. Does the government stand by all these legislations regarding all 5 laws, and does government take ownership of these laws? Through you, Madam Chair, yes, government does. From a constitutional perspective, the general principle is that legislative proposals submitted by a previous government are, in principle, continued by its successor. This principle safeguards continuity in the legislative process and promotes stability in governance. Accordingly, successive governments assume carriage of pending draft legislation, irrespective of the administration under which those proposals were originally submitted. At the same time, government always retains the authority to reconsider any draft law and, where deemed necessary, to expressly withdraw it. As these legislative proposals have not been withdrawn, it can therefore be confirmed that the government stands behind them and takes full responsibility for them. Next question. It is interesting that with some other draft laws, we are provided with the full legislative history and trajectory dating back several years, whereas with these draft laws, there appears to have been less background information provided. Could the minister elaborate on the broader context and the development of these proposals? Through you, Madam Chair, unlike some other legislative proposals, my earlier presentation has focused primarily on the substantive goals of the draft law, of the drafts, rather than their full legislative history. That said, the underlying rationale and policy motivation are closely tied to the broader objective of ensuring that our jurisdiction remains a credible and reliable participant within the international financial community. In particular, the legislation is designed to align the domestic legal framework and internationally recognized recommendations, standards, and principles. A key driver in this respect is the need to comply with the recommendations issued by the FATF and the principles of financial market infrastructures developed under the auspices of the Bank for International Settlements and the International Organization of Securities Commissions. Adherence to these standards is widely regarded as essential for maintaining market integrity, safeguarding financial stability, and preserving access to international financial markets. Accordingly, while the historical trajectory of the drafts have not been elaborated upon in detail in my presentation, its content and justification are firmly rooted in these international obligations and the broader policy goal of maintaining St. Martin's standing and reputation of the global level, at the global level, my apologies. Nevertheless, all relevant information can be found in the explanatory memorandum which accompanies each legislative proposal.
Public finance at several state-owned enterprises. Furthermore, the Executive Organization for Social Security Funds, SCV, is going through difficult times. If no measures are taken, the reserves will be depleted, which will have major consequences for public finance. In addition to the delayed 2026 budget, St. Martin is currently working on a timely budget for 2027. It is important that this budget adequately addresses the risks to the country. St. Martin does not yet have an active participations policy in place, which has caused issues at government entities to arise. Telecom company Telem, energy and water supplier GB and Postal Services PSS, among others, face limited financial possibilities and are under great pressure. It is important that solutions are put in place and that governance issues are addressed. A complete and adequately functioning supervisory board and management board is a prerequisite for effectively implementing change. Simultaneously, the government of St. Martin must address the acute risks to public finance at the entities by means of a clear strategy, which means that agreements must be made with the distressed entities regarding financial sustainability or market solutions. Looking ahead, the CFT recommends to implement an effective participations policy as soon as possible and to execute this with the required capacity and expertise so as to ensure that these issues will not arise again. Focus on a timely budget. Aside from the aforementioned issue, St. Martin has been facing considerable delays in the budgetary process for years. This year also, the budget is adopted far too late. At the earliest, the 2026 budget will be adopted halfway through the year, which frustrates the possibilities to make policy and to address risks. In practice, plans and investments are postponed time and again. The Kingdom Council of Ministers has requested St. Martin to draw up an improvement plan for the budgetary process. The government actively reacted to this request. St. Martin started drawing up the 2027 budget timely and shared an extensive planning with the CFT. Also, early on in the process, the government came to an agreement regarding the expenditure framework. At the same time, the CFT now observes that there are hitches in the process due to the fact that not all ministries submit information on time. The CFT urges the Council of Ministers as a whole to take its responsibility. Only with a proper contribution of all involved, the 2027 budget can be adopted before the start of the new budgetary year in accordance with the objectives set. Affordability of healthcare and pensions is at stake. An acute risk for the coming years that must be addressed in the 2027 budget are the deficits at the healthcare funds. Annually, the healthcare funds, under the management of the Executive Organization, Social and Health Insurances, SCV, incur losses of approximately XCG 35 million. Until now, these deficits, which now amount to approximately XCG 500 million, have been absorbed by means of reserves of the other funds, mainly of the pension fund AOV. Within a few years, these reserves will be depleted, which puts the affordability of healthcare and pensions for the citizens of St. Martin under great pressure. Parliament meeting with Melissa Gums, Minister of Education. Question from the MPs in the report. It says that English streams are performing better, and persons who speak English at home are also performing better. We're doing an injustice to our students by not focusing more on the English stream. Are we going to focus more on our home language? The Ministry is currently developing a national language policy to address language-related disparities. The policy will guide curriculum reform and promote greater cohesion in language use within the education system. Consultations with stakeholders indicate that the differences in performance are indeed influenced by both language exposure and the quality of instruction.
Question 1, in the report it states that English streams are performing better and persons who speak English at home are also performing better. We're doing an injustice to our students by not focusing more on the English stream. Are we going to focus more on our home language? The ministry is currently developing a national language policy to address language-related disparities. The policy will guide curriculum reform and promote greater cohesion in language use within the education system. Consultations with stakeholders indicate that differences in performance are indeed influenced by both language exposure and quality of instruction. Question 2. Why would I put my child in public school if subsidized schools are performing better? Mr. Chairman, through you, the ministry wishes to emphasize that both public and subsidized schools operate within the same national education framework, guided by the same curriculum standards, assessment systems, and quality oversight mechanisms. Student outcomes are therefore influenced by a range of factors beyond school type alone, including classroom practices, leadership, parental involvement, and student support systems. Public schools play an essential role in ensuring equitable access to education for all children in St. Martin. They are designed to be inclusive, accessible, and reflective of the diverse needs of the community, and continue to benefit from targeted investments in teacher development, curriculum strengthening, and student support services. At the same time, the ministry acknowledges that parents and guardians make schooling decisions based on their individual preferences, values, and the specific needs of their child. This is a personal decision, and families are encouraged to consider all relevant factors, including the learning environment, school culture, available support systems, and proximity. The ministry remains committed to strengthening quality across the entire education system, ensuring that every school, whether public or subsidized, is equipped to provide high-quality education and positive outcomes for students. Question 3. Which schools are performing best, even among the subsidized schools? One of the most important takeaways is that there's no single best school overall. A school may perform strongly in reading comprehension, but struggle in oral reading fluency. Another may show relative strength in number and numeration, but face serious gaps in multiplication and division. Performance patterns shift depending on the subject, the specific task, and the grade level assessed. The reports present the results primarily by school type, public and subsidized, rather than naming individual schools in a text analysis. The consistent pattern is that subsidized schools outperform public schools on certain measures. However, it is also worth noting that public schools edged out subsidized schools in number discrimination, which shows that no school type performs uniformly across all tasks. The school-by-school figures show important nuance even within the subsidized group. Some subsidized schools are performing exceptionally, while others are mid-range. Similarly, some public schools outperform subsidized schools on specific tasks. To identify which specific schools are performing best, please consult the bar charts in each report. Group 3 EGRA-EGMA report figures 9, 13, 17, 21, and 25 of the EGMA, and figures 33, 37, 41, 45, 49, 53, and 57 of the EGRA. For the Group 5 National Assessment reports, figures 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25 in mathematics, and figures 35, 40, and 45 in reading. These figures display each school's full proficiency profile side by side, making it possible to identify which schools consistently cluster in the high mastery, low emerging range, and which require the most targeted support.
Are you SXM insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXM is cardless. Request your My SXM account today and enter the virtual office of SXM. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
SXM, yeah. Your social health insurances.
MP Shamira Roseberg, we need to make sure that, seeing that I'm hearing and I'm not aware that on one hand, that is pretty, on the other hand, I think you need to get to the bottom of this, especially seeing we're dealing with the health of persons. Therefore, I'm looking forward to the outcome of such, and seeing that I don't have another opportunity to do so. I would like to thank the Minister and the support staff for the work done so far. I have worked with you in a good way, and you have assisted several projects. And one thing that I admire, and I think I may have to get that more from you, is the way we are so connected. No matter where you go, no matter what you do, you stay humble and focused. And this was a difficult day.
Seeing that there seems to be a lot of confusion, and I do believe it, if there are things you shouldn't be playing with, it's your health. So therefore, I don't see no issue in investigating what needs to be investigated if there's nothing wrong, because how I read the motion, it also mentions that where it's being spoken about, that where necessary. So if everything is being done correctly, then it's not necessary to do further stuff if everything is being done good. But we need to make sure that seeing that I'm hearing and I'm not aware that on one hand there is a registratie, on the other hand there's no registratie. I think we need to get to the bottom of this, especially seeing the outcome of yesterday's meeting, and we're dealing with the health of persons, so therefore I'm looking forward to the outcome of such. And seeing that I don't have another opportunity to do so, I would like to thank the Minister of FESA and the support staff for the work done so far. I have worked with you in a good way, and you have assisted several projects. And one thing that I admire, and I think I maybe have to get that more from you, is the way how you're so connected. No matter where you go, no matter what you do, you stay humble and focused. And this was a difficult day. This was a difficult day.
MP Darrell York on this motion, as I reference, very important that we get to the bottom of the allegations, because at the end of the day, we speaking about people's health. And again, it cannot be that almost everything in this governing program that really affects the people of St. Martin is being put to the wayside. And the one minister that's actually doing something that was promised again is being sent home to be. And in closing, it might be unpopular, but there's only one person of, in my humble opinion, of the coalition that put country above coalition today. And that's MP Shamira Roseberg's book.
And again, Madam Chair, it cannot be that almost everything in this governing program that really affects the people of St. Martin is being put to the wayside. And the one minister that's actually doing something that was promised, again, is being sent home today. And in closing, Madam Chair, it might be unpopular, but there's only one person of, in my humble opinion, of the coalition that put country above coalition today, and that's MP Shamira Roseberg. So I think credit got to be given where credit is due.
The people are standing up for justice. I commend Chantal Flanders and everyone else who is standing up and speaking out for my country. My possible opinion. I am not acting on behalf of any particular party, any particular member. I am speaking for myself, for character, outspokenness. Is this appointment in my country? Appointment for me. Water my eyes to see. A working minister. Go home.
As a concerned citizen and the love that I have for my country, St. Martin, I feel the need to express my personal opinion. I am not acting on behalf of any particular party, any particular member. I am talking for myself. And for those who know me, know my character, and know my outspokenness. As I said, the disappointments of my country, sweet St. Martin, Parliament was a disappointment for me. I watched it. It brought water in my eyes to see a working minister like Brit go home. Go home for doing his job. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. Because one day we all going to be judged, and that's by the Almighty God. Because I do believe in my faith, for sure. But as I said, I have watched and seen the parliamentarians who take oath not to be a collision, but to before the people of St. Martin disappoint me. And members, senior members that I respected has disappointed me. Rosebud, they might say you're the sheep, I do not know. But I congratulate you. I congratulate you for stepping up and being that one vote. It didn't make a difference, but it made a difference for people to see. Okay? I congratulate you. Okay? We all, like I said, I don't know the full story, but it was played out. I wish that all of that, what happened in Parliament, could have kept between their party. Okay? And it's unfortunately that the public of St. Martin and St. Martin people had to see what happened. But it's already done, and it's out there. But I'm disappointed when we put people in positions to vote over us and they choose collision, and that's what I see.
Creative Leaders Innovations and Change Communication, Climb Foundation, proudly presented a collection of foundation-based education, FBE, mathematics books titled FBE Math Success to the St. Martin Library on behalf of the wider community of St. Martin. This meaningful donation was made possible through the generosity of the Lake family, in loving memory of Reverend Myrna Lake, a respected educator, minister, and beloved community leader whose life and service touched countless lives across St. Martin. As 2026 marks 10 years since her passing, the contribution stands as a lasting tribute to her unwavering dedication to education, faith, and community empowerment. The FBE mathematics books, designed for students in grades 2 through 6, Group 3 through Group 8, aim to support children, parents, and educators by providing structured and accessible learning tools that strengthen numeracy skills, critical thinking, and problem-solving abilities. Dr. Delroy Pierre developed and refined the resources through extensive classroom testing to ensure they align with the curriculum and effectively support young learners. The Climb Foundation emphasized that this initiative responds to long-standing concerns regarding access to quality educational support materials. By placing these books within the public library system, the Foundation hopes to inspire a stronger culture of learning and help advance literacy and numeracy development throughout the nation. The St. Martin Library expressed sincere gratitude to the Climb Foundation and the Lake family for this valuable contribution to the island's educational resources. Library representatives highlighted the importance of ensuring equitable access to learning materials for all children and families, regardless of background or circumstance. These books represent more than educational tools. They embody opportunity, hope, and an investment in the future of our children and community. Librarian M. Powell noted. The books will be available for public use at the St. Martin Library, offering students, parents, teachers, and community members access to valuable educational resources for years to come. The St. Martin Library encourages the public to visit, explore the new collection, and take advantage of opportunities to strengthen foundational math skills essential for academic success and lifelong learning.
Now for the weather forecast, tonight through Tuesday evening. Fair to partly cloudy, hazy and breezy. Surface winds, tonight through Tuesday evening, easterly to east-southeasterly with a gentle to moderate breeze at 8 to 15 mf. State of the sea, slight waves and swells 2 to 4 feet outlook through Wednesday evening. Partly cloudy with light haze. Isolated showers are likely. And now your 3-day forecast.
Your social and health insurance is your social and health insurance.
Are you SXV insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXV is cardless. Request your My SXV account today and enter the virtual office of SXV. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
Your social and health insurance is.
Representatives from Aruba, Bonaire, Curaçao, Saba, St. Eustatius, and St. Martin on Friday signed a renewed Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, aimed at strengthening regional cooperation in agriculture, livestock, and fisheries across the Dutch Caribbean. The agreement was signed under the framework of the Dutch Caribbean Agriculture, Livestock, and Fisheries Alliance, DC Alpha, and marks an important step toward further formalizing long-term collaboration between the 6 islands in areas such as food security, sustainable agriculture, fisheries development, climate resilience, and regional policy coordination. Signatories to the agreement included Aruba's Minister of Finance, Economic Affairs, and Primary Sector, Jeffrey Weaver, Bonaire Commissioner Clark Abraham, Curaçao Minister of Health, Environment and Nature, Tyrone Boekhout, Saba Commissioner Bruce Zegers, St. Eustatius Commissioner Recheline Leerdam, and St. Martin's Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Economic Affairs, Transport and Telecommunication, Grisha Heilige Martin. The updated MOU builds on the initial agreement signed in 2023 and establishes a more structured and future-oriented framework for cooperation through 2035. The agreement outlines a shared commitment among the participating islands to strengthen food security, reduce import dependency, promote sustainable and climate-smart practices, stimulate resilient economic growth, and increase opportunities for youth and women within the primary sector. The renewed framework also supports the continued development of the DC Alpha Roadmap 2025-2035, which will guide regional collaboration and strategic priorities moving forward. Queen Maxima received her beret on Friday, May 29th, 2026 afternoon during her military training as a reservist in the Royal Netherlands Army. With this, Queen Maxima completes the first part of the training. During the ceremony, the Queen was surprised by the presence of her daughters Amalia and Ariane. King Willem-Alexander was also present.
Op deze berettenceremonie. De ceremonie die in het teken staat van het vervangen van de pet naar de baret. Een zichtbare overgang naar een volgende fase in jullie opleiding. Wat deze ceremonie extra bijzonder maakt, is dat vandaag ook een soldaat van Oranje, koningin Maxima, haar baret krijgt. Dat u in uw rol als koningin deze stap maakt om reservist te worden, enthousiasmeert, motiveert, inspireert en is daarmee een voorbeeld voor velen. De oprechte en intensieve betrokkenheid van ons gehele Koningshuis bij Defensie geeft mij een trots gevoel.
Hey. Af. Petten. Af. Op. Op de plaats. Rust. Rust. Hey! Ruk! Wat? Woe!
BBC Tech Now's Paul Carter finds out what's new in phone tech, including how satellites in space are helping to provide better signal and data to your device, no matter where you are in the world.
Ultimately, what use is a mobile phone if you can't call anyone due to bad reception?
Mobile connectivity usually comes from phone masts, but satellites in space are helping to provide better signal and data to your device no matter where you are in the world.
In 2024, we began launching our direct-to-cell constellation, which as of today we're calling Starlink Mobile. The goal of Starlink Mobile is to connect to regular unmodified cell phones everywhere in the world.
With 650 communication satellites in low Earth orbit, Elon Musk's Starlink provides light data services to devices in dead zones. However, its next generation constellation, known as V2 satellites, will begin launching in 2027. They aim to be far more powerful. And they're not alone. Last month, Virgin Media O2 and Starlink switched on its satellite-to-device service for UK users, while Orange teamed up with AST Space Mobile and Satellite Connect Europe to bring better connectivity to customers.
We have new technologies in low Earth orbit at various altitudes between 500 kilometers to 2,000 kilometers. And here the satellites are spinning around the Earth. So you need more satellites to bring continuous coverage.
It's not only phones that will benefit from greater connectivity. Cars will too.
We received your emergency call. Could you please describe your emergency?
Hi, yes, we've been in an accident out in the middle of nowhere. We don't know where we are, and the car won't start. When you get into a crash, the command control center for the automaker will know, did the airbag deploy? How fast were you going? Where are you? That's great when you're in cell service, but what happens when you're outside of cell service? So what we're demonstrating today is if you're outside of cell service, your car can connect directly to the satellite and you can make a voice call. Essentially, either you can initiate a voice call or the command center can initiate a voice call.
Universal mobile phone signal could be life-changing. But how much will our need for more connectivity cost?
We're trying to bring the cost down through volume. And in terms of sustainability, at ESA, we work on the principle of zero debris. So we want to be as efficient as possible, cost effective as possible, but also as sustainable as we need to be.
This is our SXM Daily Newscast. Thank you for joining us.